The stuff that I'm not doing voluntarily is what's bothering me right now.
I mean, you're doing this podcast voluntarily. It was your idea. It was the most voluntary.
I know.
It was his idea, but it is now involuntary.
Yeah. Good podcasts aren't made, they escape.
That's the title.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, Attack of the Clones.
Yay!
Yay.
How was your watch, Ben?
It's good. I have a rant already, but that will be saved for when I spontaneously remember mid-episode I have a rant.
Chris, how was your watch?
Well, the bit is dead, and the mystique for this movie is gone.
Thank Christ.
Fuck, this movie is hard to get through.
Yikes.
There is a whole lot of good in this movie, but fuck does it make you wait for it.
I had a better watch this time around, mostly because I have enough content because of the 2 days of special features that I put my fucking self through, that I don't feel like I have to pay all of my attention to Attack of the Clones at all times.
This one was better because I had more Attack of the Clones to go with my Attack of the Clones.
No, this watch was better because I paid less attention to the actual movie Attack of the Clones.
That's fair.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Very little of it about the actual movie.
So, like every episode of this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, hop right in with that rant, baby.
Can't put me under pressure like that.
Okay, would you rather I talk about NSYNC?
So, fucking... Can we talk about lightsabers real quick?
I would love nothing more than to talk about lightsabers real quick.
For some reason, every time we get to episode 2, I have a fucking lightsaber rant. So, the droid factory.
I fucking hate that droid factory.
Oh, I do too. I have 2 rants. So, fucking... So there's the part where Anakin falls on the one conveyor belt, right? And his arm gets like fucking stuck in the thing, which I still don't understand the purpose of that like piece his arm stuck in.
Well, I can tell you, both this and Geonosis, the direction that the actors were given was do things and we'll work around you.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's how this entire movie was shot.
All the action scenes, yeah, and it feels it.
But anyway, so he gets his fucking arm stuck in the goddamn fucking arm stuck machine or whatever it is. And the giant blades are coming down and they chop his fucking lightsaber in half. And the top half goes flying off fuck knows where in the bowels of goddamn Geonosis. And they never get it back. And Anakin has the same lightsaber through the prequels. So did he just reforge the same lightsaber?
No, he got a new lightsaber. If you look at them, they're different.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have a follow-up question. What is with the obsession in these movies of breaking Anakin's lightsabers in half? Because they do it 2 different times over the course of 3 trilogies.
So that they can keep up the bit that only George Lucas likes, where Anakin is afraid that Obi-Wan's going to yell at him for losing a lightsaber, and Obi-Wan also loses a lightsaber.
Yeah, Lucas likes what he likes, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
That's
but like only one of them was in a Lucas trilogy. Because in fucking Last Jedi, they break Anakin's lightsaber in half.
I mean, to be fair,
at that point, it's just an ode to that.
Now, if you want to bring that up, it's actually way more interesting that they reforged that lightsaber in Rise of Skywalker. Because...
Yes. Let's reforge the one that slaughtered the children.
What's the meme? The Youngling Slayer 9000.
Since we're on Geonosis, I will nudge us a little bit further. I have a confirmation that a Jedi shit himself on the set of Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones.
Excuse me?
What?
Now that's the carrot. In order to take this carrot, we need to go back to NSYNC.
I don't see how these things connect.
So
I don't want to see how these things
One of these things is not like the other, and I don't want an explanation.
So George Lucas and Rick McCallum both had young daughters that were obsessed with NSYNC. And those daughters basically begged them to bring NSYNC on as extras for the movies. So assumedly purely so that they could meet them. So they were supposed to be in the movies.
Oh my god.
And this was like a rumor. This was not from the special features, by the way. I had to look this up. But there was rumors going around, and all the Star Wars fans were angry that NSYNC was going to be in the movie, and blah, blah, blah. And Lucasfilm said, we didn't put them in. That's not entirely true.
Oh, no.
So Lance Bass and Justin Timberlake, I guess they were on the Pop Odyssey tour. I have that written down. Not that I really know what that is, even though NSYNC can have bops. So the rest of the band, including Joey Fontone's brother, Steve Fontone, went and actually recorded as other Jedi for the Geonosis battle.
Oh my god.
This was entirely lost to history, except NSYNC saying that they were there. Until 2015, Huffington posted an amazing fucking article on it.
Oh my god.
Quote, NSYNC fully shot 2 different scenes that were later cut from Attack of the Clones. The more involved footage featured them fighting droids in the climactic Geonosis battle. They kind of paired us off. It was actually me and my brother that were kind of fighting back-to-back for the big arena scene, said Joey Fontaine. They basically said, pretend like you're fighting droids. That's where I get the information that they just told them to pretend to fight droids. And it's supported with everything in the special features. Joey explained that there wasn't much direction given, and they all just tried to figure out what the hell they were doing since they were essentially swinging at nothing. The other scene included Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi and a hovering Yoda. They were supposed to walk past them. Also cut from the movie. A couple of Jedis hanging out, as Joey said. Steven described filming their Geonosis parts as a gargantuan big green screen room in one of the sound stages. The band members were given a stick with a rubber little lightsaber, according to Steven, and were told they could do any kind of style you want because later on we'll react the droids to what you did. They go on to talk about like everybody on Star Wars, they were making the sound effects with their voices because they always mention that no matter what trilogy and no matter what special features. They had a conversation internally to force themselves to stop. Quote, Steven's recollection of filming the scene is even more detailed. Here I am, a big fat fuck Jedi Knight trying to be all cool, and I scissor kick, and the next thing you know, I shit myself. He told me. It was pretty embarrassing.
Hold on. You really buried the lead here. Because not only did a Jedi shit himself on the fucking set, it was a member of NSYNC as a
No, it was the brother of a member of NSYNC. That's why I buried the lead.
Fucking hell.
So essentially the story is that NSYNC didn't end up in the movie because they were members of SAG and they would have had to pay them a lot more. At the end of the article, there's like a GIF where they think Stephen Fontone is in the background of one of the shots. I could not tell.
Isn't anybody, like, to appear in anything, any kind of production, don't you have to be a member of SAG? Even an extra?
Not when you're supposed to be an extra. I don't know.
Really?
That's what Huffington Post
Because
said.
even a thing I learned recently is that even the audience in Judge Judy have to be members of SAG.
What it might have been different back then. I don't know. We are talking 2000.
This is true, yeah.
But no, that's the story of Stephen Fontaine.
Fucking
on the
hell. Wow.
I told you it would be worth it.
Wow.
Apparently, Steven and Joey approached George a couple years later and basically, like, in their words, what the fuck, man? And George kind of just laughed it off.
That is now a thing that I know. Great. Thanks for that. Wow.
I was happy to facilitate that. That was the highlight of my week. I never thought when I was like, I remember there being an article about NSYNC supposed to be in this movie. I need to look it up. I never thought I would find out that not only did someone shit themselves on the set of Attack of the Clones, but it was Joey Fontaine's brother.
I do like that you are now going the extra mile for these special features, Josh.
Well, much like last week, it was the stuff outside the special features that was the highlight of my week.
I see. What I worry about is that, like, I don't remember what episode it was. One of the first episodes of this fucking podcast that we recorded was you lamenting that you feel like your life has become just Star Wars. And we were all like, no, you just need to watch more stuff or do more things. And you've now started the special features. You're doing hours of research on a member of the background extras shitting themselves.
This rotation sucks, and I am never doing this special features challenge again. I will say that happily. But yeah, that was really important. I really wanted to talk about that.
Look, we're going to run out of ideas at some point. You're going to have to do this again at some point, but somehow worse. Like, you're going to have to watch the special features like in French or something.
No, fuck you. I'm not carrying this load anymore.
Sure, that's what that extra thought too, but look, we don't all get what we want in life.
Listen. Fuck you.
I am living in constant fear.
We still talking about Star Wars?
Well, yes. That one day they will remaster Star Wars movies, and there will be no pod race in the background of Episode 2.
Okay, so literally any other subject, please.
Welcome to my lead-up into talking about pod racing in Episode 2, because...
God, no. Please, no.
What is there to talk about?
Scary, guys.
I
don't even need to continue talking about it. I just gotta lead up to it just to hurt you.
I have like pod racing PTSD. Why are you trying to hurt me? I love you. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me, Ben? Come
on. Let me just scroll to a random point in my notes. Samuel L. Jackson is wearing a WWF New York shirt or jacket throughout the entirety of the special features, like all of them. That's a subject. That's a thing.
Did you see? Is that special features for Episode 2? Is that the one where they have the interview talking about the purple lightsaber? Or
yeah, it is. It's not like incredibly involved. It's just I can't remember if it's on the set of Geonosis or if it's like on the side of the set of Palpatine's first weird office. The office that's like levels of red walls that is like Snoke's room. But he essentially says, what color lightsaber? And George is like, well, bad guys have red and Jedi have green and blue. Sam Jackson is like, what about purple? And George just kind of shrugs and says, maybe purple. And that's the last they talk about it. And apparently it's never brought up until Sam Jackson sees the movie.
I wish I could see Samuel Jackson's react on screen, him holding a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
I wish I could see the pure joy on his face when he sees it. I'd like to talk real quick about how fucking convoluted the assassination attempt is.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about this as well.
You guys do that, and then I want to talk about Camino and similar how convoluted things. So go for it.
I remember distinctly, I forget what it was, but I was watching this thing, and there was a bit where it's like, okay, so you hired a bounty hunter who hires another bounty hunter who hires a droid who hires two little worms to kill the senator. And they're just like, yep, nope, that checks out. That makes sense.
So, this is something I've been thinking about for fucking weeks. Since I'm not even joking. This is the hell that is my fucking life now. Because this fucking podcast. So, we bitched a lot about the fucking assassination attempt scene the first time we went through this. And I realized a couple weeks later, because I know I messaged both of you, like, do not let me forget to talk about this when we get back to Attack the Clones.
I definitely forgot.
That's okay. I forgot until Ben brought it up.
That was my subtle reminder to you, but also I had to get that out there.
Yeah. So we're all super wrong. We were all super wrong in that initial shitting on it. Like, there's a lot of things to shit on in this movie. I think we were super wrong on that.
Well, to be fair, that was my point of view when we were talking about it too.
Well, no, I think we were super wrong on us talking about, like, the dart specifically. We all harped real hard on that. That was totally Palpatine's plan.
Well, yes, that's actually what I want to talk about when you two are done with that particular point.
That was my that was my whole point. That was literally it.
Oh, Josh.
Yes.
You said that when Anakin corrects Obi-Wan about Zam being a woman, Obi-Wan immediately calls her a him?
Yes, when they go into the tavern.
He says she, not he.
Okay, I could have been wrong on that.
I need to call you out on that, but I forgot until like just now.
Well, I appreciate it. I want to be wrong on that. Okay, so Chris is absolutely right.
Josh's eyes now.
What?
Obi-Wan is now repeated in your eyes because he doesn't misgender Zam.
Well, that's a whole different.
Look, of
Listen,
all the characters,
he's forgiven.
Of all the characters to hate in the Star Wars franchise, Obi-Wan is a little harder to hate than most, I think.
No, he's absolutely like easy to hate. Okay, so I want to.
Okay.
I very badly want to talk about the master plan in regards to the clones.
All right, but we're coming back to this Obi-Wan bit.
Okay, let's talk about the Obi-Wan thing now.
What the fuck? You need to explain yourself, young mister.
Why?
What is there to hate about Obi-Wan?
I'm sorry. The original trilogy just not happen?
Okay.
What did Obi-Wan do wrong?
A certain point of view.
Yeah?
What?
Okay. So this is obviously something that the prequels put on the original trilogy. But Obi-Wan Kenobi is kind of like the ultimate enabler of Yoda when we get to the point we're at in the original trilogy. He's constantly protecting Yoda's secrets. He's constantly trying to dodge anything that Luke has to know. He's constantly trying to specifically get Luke to do something for him by entirely avoiding the fact that his father is also responsible for the, let's say, fascism of the entire galaxy. He lies to Luke a lot in regards to talking about him, and then his excuse when we get to the point where he finally admits it is from a certain point of view. I'm not saying Obi-Wan is like the biggest dick in these, but he's a pretty big dick.
Not in the prequels, though.
No, not in the prequels.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, in the prequels.
Like I said, he's forgiven in this movie because he has a mullet. I said that 2 minutes ago. But
my only point, Ewan McGregor can do nothing wrong.
You're right. You're right.
Ewan McGregor is a national treasure.
Yeah.
Not this nation, but, you know.
Thank God not this nation. So we need, I want it very badly. This is like my only real notes on this movie outside of I thought as a kid the librarian was a Sith Lord, just because she seemed mean.
Costa knew alone.
So this plan, all plans in Star Wars, especially made by Force users, should be given a certain amount of leeway because it's like, oh, you could probably see things coming that we don't. So obviously we know Sifo-Dyas was like he was like a friend of Dooku and Sifo-Dyas a long time before it happened. Started to sense the rise of the war that was coming and all of that. And actually, fun fact, in the old canon, he had like council meetings where he was trying to convince other people, including Yoda and stuff like that. Apparently, that's how Yoda found out about the Rule of Two, like just small things that Sifo-Dyas found. And also Jorah Sabath, who ends up being cloned and is in the Palpatine piece in the EU, where they bring back Palpatine, is part of that council, which was just an interesting thing that only I care about. So, like, he spends years and years and years, like, before the Phantom Menace trying to track this down. And then Dooku's first act as Palpatine's Padawan is to kill him, or in the old canon, not kill him, but put him in cryostasis because he didn't have the heart to kill him, or whatever the fuck. So, through all of this, whether it be old canon or new canon, the one continuous plot point is that Sifo-Dyas was indeed the person that ordered the clone army because he was convinced to do so by Plagueis or a corporation or the machinations of Plagueis and or Sidious. So they got him to do it so that it felt like an official thing from the council.
Yeah.
That's how it happened in some capacity. So I guess all of this depended on this clone army being brought up at the right time so that the first generation of clones would be ready 10 years later for the Clone Wars. So 2 things. Dooku deleted this and Dagobah and a bunch of other planets from the libraries of the Jedi. We know that. That's established in this movie.
Dooku deleted Dagobah?
Yeah, he deleted Dagobah. I don't know why, but that was...
Why?
I have no clue.
I was just about to ask before Ben did. That's bizarre.
They don't really explain it. He just got rid of a bunch of old planets from the system.
I feel like that's them trying to clean up plot holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why didn't the Empire just take the Jedi records? Oh, well, Dooku deleted a few other planets, like Dagobah. That's why they never went there.
I think Dagobah is the only other planet that's, like, mentioned in this deletion. But anyway, I guess my question is, Ben brought up how batshit it is that they hired someone who hired someone who hired someone to take out the person using the Camino dart so that they would go to Camino and find this. What if they fucked up? What if they fucked up and that dart did not hit, like, the perfect person, and this our bounty hunter friend did not die with the dart in her, or something went wrong, or she was successful in killing Padme, or literally anything went wrong in that whole thing. Without Camino in the system.
This is what I said about the fucking... We had this argument the first time we did Phantom Menace, when I was bitching about Palpatine's plans being way too fucking specific. About fucking sticking Anakin on Tatooine, and we're like, no, I think it was an accident they found him, but, like, really, now that we're looking at what is supposed to be his convoluted fucking plans, are we sure? Because his plans are a little bit too fucking specific.
Hey, you want to know something else? This is actually what brought on, like, this 4-paragraph rant of mine. What if, like, the war started... 2 things. What if the war started and they didn't have the clones? Or what if the war didn't start because there wasn't that original point and it was pushed off, like, a year or 2? And, like, the clones, the first batch of clones just kind of, like, what would have happened if Camino never got involved in this? Well, 1, the Republic would have fallen, probably. But 2, would these clones just kind of, like, wither and die within the next 10 years? Or would, like, Camino sell them to somebody else? Or, like, I can't fathom, like, if one thing goes wrong in this 10-minute scene at the beginning of Attack of the Clones, everything is fucked. But forever.
This is the problem with Star Wars, and this is where it's... This is kind of why I'm at the point with Star Wars where I don't know how excited I am about new Star Wars properties, because, like, everything is just you have that MacGuffin in everything.
Yeah.
Everything is too convenient. Everything is, the Force has everything figured out, and there's fucking, like this dumb assassination plot where, like you said, if one single thing had gone wrong, it's entirely different.
That's the thing, and this is the main reason why I bring it up. They had a backup plan, and that was the Jedi Archives, so that they could find fucking Kamino. Why was Kamino deleted from the archives? If it was in there, it would have made it easier, so they fucking found it, and they found the clone army.
Why was Dagobah deleted? Look.
I don't know. That's side content. That's not like a step.
Well, now you fucked my whole day up with this, Josh, and I didn't know why Dagobah was deleted.
I couldn't find any information as to why. I honestly couldn't. But that's like, it's even more than Anakin, because I can accept that to a certain extent. Once you start unraveling this one, it like even the EU, I can give it somewhat of an excuse, because the EU, it's like Plagueis' original plan, because the money that bought the clone army was Plagueis' business that actually started all the way back with Bane, and but Plagueis was the one to really take it off. And when Palpatine poisoned Plagueis, he was kind of like, "What the fuck were you doing? This is bad shit," and kind of did what he could to fix it.
Oh.
But like then again, he still asked Dooku to delete Kamino from the records. Like,
and
what if
Dagobah
gone to Yoda, and Yoda would have been like, "You dumb shit, let these kids tell you."
Ben, what's up? Why you sound like you just had a revelation?
I've discovered that I have another rant today.
Oh, okay.
I've also totally lost track of the first rant, so that's gonna be fun when that pops back into my memory, if it does within the next hour.
Didn't you do
the Mask Holdings? The Mask Holdings was the name of the company. Ben, go.
Shit. Shit. Oh, okay, I got it again. So, fucking Plagueis, right? Right? For the longest time, what was it? Plagueis was killed during the events of Phantom Menace, if I'm recalling correctly. Disney has now confirmed that is no longer canon.
What?
And that Plagueis is dead before the events of the prequels.
Oh, horse shit.
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
So
You can
I
make
am
it work.
very curious as to what the fuck they're planning to do.
Yeah, they're clearly planning to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to feel about it, but my initial reaction is, fuck that.
I knew as soon as they got rid of the old one and they started making side content again that they were going to come back to Plagueis, because they kind of had to, because he's mentioned directly in the movie. So I don't have a problem with that. And I'll be honest with you, of all the Rule of Two books, the Plagueis book is the weakest book. So I'm open to another interpretation of that.
See, I'm curious what they're going to do with it, because it's been pushed back now, so I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out. But this High Republic thing they're doing is supposed to be the Jedi at the height of their power, no Sith. So at what point, clearly Sidious is under the fucking Jedi Council's nose for a while. Plagueis was under their nose for a while. So how long were the Sith really under their nose without them realizing, we're going to fucking find out in this High Republic thing that nope, they never left. They were just, the Jedi were just fucking dumb as shit.
They did have the intelligence of finding a giant Sith temple on Coruscant and thinking, you know what? We should build our temple on top of that, because that sounds like a great idea.
Can I read a Sir Christopher Lee quote?
Oh, God.
Please never ask permission to do that again.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, I can't remember when, they said, what's it like when you work in front of a blue screen? You don't see anything, and there's nothing behind the camera, and you're not getting anything back from behind the camera because there's nothing there. And I said, oh, I've often had that experience with a lot of my colleagues. The man was a fucking monster, and I love him.
I was off topic, but while I was waiting for the call, I was sitting here listening to music with featuring Sir Christopher Lee.
Oh yeah, he had a weird like music.
Yeah, he produced like power metal.
Yeah. Christopher Lee, when they brought out the Yoda miniature for him to get an idea where his eyes should be, they put vampire teeth on the Yoda miniature.
Yes.
And also my last true, well, later on I'll bring it up because you forced me to talk about it, but Christopher Lee, when put on the spot talking about the plot of episode 2, it's a magical world a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And it continues. That's the full quote. He is such a baller motherfucker.
Dude was a fucking legend.
Oh, man.
I am very happy to have 2 of his signatures because I needed 2 for this amazing band.
Oh. The world is truly darker without him.
Yeah.
Fuck, this got sad.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, hey, it's been many weeks of sad, all right? This podcast is about the creeping mortality of all of us.
The fucker was a legend.
The creeping mortality that is, existence. And instead of, going out and experiencing the world, we're here every week talking about Star Wars.
Really laid it on thick today, Chris.
Yeah. Look, I've had the mystique of one of my favorite movies ruined this week for me. All right.
Fuck it, let's get all the existential dread in this episode.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there wasn't enough existential dread last week on our second rotation because we got distracted talking about fucking Rick McCallum.
Yeah, I look forward to 2 of the rotation because it's like me and Chris having fun and Josh just hating existence, but now Chris also just hates existence.
I'll come around. I will not this rotation.
I want you to know, I did a week's worth of research on Rick McCallum.
Is this episode going to be Rick McCallum part 2?
No, because you know what I found about Rick McCallum? Fucking nothing. He is the most reclusive motherfucker. Like, what are you hiding, Rick? Where'd you go?
What are you hiding, Rick?
Fucking Rick McCallum just shit out 3 subpar Star Wars movies and fucking left the country.
The only real note on Rick McCallum I have is about his daughter wanting NSYNC. That's the only real note I have because I can only compliment Rick McCallum because he's Rick McCallum, of course.
One day when we have Rick McCallum on this podcast, it's like, Rick, why?
Chris, don't encourage him.
No. One of the names of the special features, one of the names of the documentaries on the special features of Attack of the Clones is Films Are Not Released, They Escape. That always felt like a ballsy choice in name titles. It's like, here's Attack of the Clones. Here's a documentary on the sound effects of Attack of the Clones. Films are not released, they escape.
Films aren't released, they just fucking seep into the public. They are birthed.
Yeah, that doesn't give off like good connotation. It's like we didn't want to release it. It just fucking got out. We tried to keep it in.
It was right.
Like, guys, where'd episode 2 go? Oh shit.
It was actually a quote from Ben Burt, my absolute hero. Ben Burt, but like it's not Ben Burt's fault that he said that in the moment of coming out in the last week of filming. It's your fault for making that the fucking title of the documentary. And right after right after that, it is revealed that one of the last edits to the entire movie was adding the "what the" line in the speeder chase, and that just that's the only way that could have gotten in the movie. It just makes so much more sense that it ended up in the movie. It was a George suggestion, of course.
Oh, of course it was.
Ben Burt does go around the ILM studios on a motorized scooter.
How, see, I've done a lot of avoiding hearing about George Lucas. Like, I actively avoid interviews with him, and I've not watched many of the special features in years. How much of a sense of humor does George Lucas have?
I feel like it depends. I feel like there's some things he's like really sensitive on, and some things he's not, and like it's kind of arbitrary. But that's just like my guess.
Because
He has a sense of humor. He's humorous on the set. He has one of those attitudes where he's like the fun boss, but also the boss that overworks you to fucking death.
I had a thought the other day.
I have a quote after your thought.
That turned to horror of like, God, wouldn't it just be hilarious if one day George Lucas finds this podcast, randomly going through like podcasts, and like listens to one episode and is like, well, this is dumb, and listens to another episode and is like, oh, these dorks are kind of funny. And then he gets to the episode where we kind of insinuate he may or may not be a sexual predator.
Whoops. I have a quote that I think sums up George Lucas. It was described by a CGI artist describing his experience as an employee, and he's smiling throughout this entire quote. I would like you to know. I sort of feel like you're a part of some weird science experiment. It's sort of like, okay, let's see what they could do without, okay, let's take away their food. They're still alive! Okay, great, let's take away their water. Still going! Okay, let's turn down the oxygen level. So they keep saying, okay, you guys have to do more with less. You know, we did it, so I guess they're all right.
Who said this quote?
I don't have the name. He was one of the leading CGI artists, but he wasn't the head of the department. So I don't think they put up a name for this individual.
Is he still alive?
George Lucas put a hit out on him.
He's in Lucas's basement now. Like every other week, it's like, I'll show you taking away the water, you motherfucker.
George Lucas describing Yoda's fighting style, the illegitimate child of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy.
God.
Aren't the Muppets also owned by Disney?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long until we get a Star Wars Muppets crossover?
I mean, technically.
Wasn't there already one?
Technically. How long until we get like a full-on fucking like big production? Because Disney runs out of fucking ideas.
Well, like a lot of the same people worked on the two. Like,
really?
Frank Oz, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem all the way out of place. Frank Oz seems exceedingly sad throughout the entirety of this. Yeah. Like, he's not seen a lot, but it's always like, hey, we want to show you the CGI we did. And he's like, oh, that seems cool, I guess.
Because I got to imagine, I don't know, I feel like to someone like Frank Oz, the prequels especially, it was kind of like the end of an era. Like, it was less of the practical effects and less of the actual puppetry. And
yeah, he doesn't seem like he seems excited, but he does at one point say, you don't need me anymore, and it just made me really sad.
It's the thing. I mean, it's I don't know. You don't see, I mean, they tried to do, even talking about Muppets, they tried to do that. They brought back like the Muppet Show recently, and it didn't do great. Like, that got canceled after like a season. It's just I still fucking think it's great. But
yeah.
You know, you're not getting new Muppets fans, I don't think.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the one to find out, but does Frank Oz come back to operate the Yoda puppet in Last Jedi?
I doubt it. I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever, but I would hope so, but I somehow doubt it. Yeah, he totally did Last Jedi.
Oh, that's good.
It was totally Frank Oz. Wow.
Well, I'm glad that that's the case because I was really sad to find out that Ben Burt didn't work on 8 or 9. Yeah. Because, like, Ben Burt is, like, the heart of this entire thing to me. He didn't seem, like, super happy about not working on them because, like, he described the process as being really different. They basically just put him in a room and, like, told him to send things when he had them, and that he just seemed super depressed about it.
Well, I gotta imagine a lot of the people who worked on, the original trilogy and also the prequels, they were used to doing it a certain way, and there was a certain, magic to the way Star Wars was done with the practical effects and everything, and then they switched to, they start seeing the some of the fucking shots of goddamn Jar Jar and shit. It's like, oh god, what are we doing? What is this?
And at that, they decide to go back and throw some of that shit into the originals.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, clearly Lucas, he was a man of his time. He worked with what he had to. But clearly he preferred all the CGI bullshit. I mean, he kept adding as much as he could.
I mean, there's a doc in here in one of the web documentaries where he opens the web documentary with people saying that digital filming will never be as good as proper film. And then he talks about how he did digital. So he very much is like, fuck you, we're doing it my way. This should have been a thing 20 years ago, which is what he said.
Yeah.
Also, like, George Lucas did pioneer a lot of the technology.
Oh, yeah.
For both practical and CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we talked about that last week with the special features Josh was watching with, talking about how, I mean, shit, they shoehorned a whole CGI doc basically into the Phantom Menace special features because of it.
The original version of the Super Battle Droid had creases up the side of the leg that made it look like it had a big swinging dick.
Run that by me again?
The original version of the Super Battle Droid had like creases up the inside of the leg, so if you looked at it slightly at an angle, it looked like it had a big swinging dick.
Jesus fucking Christ, I didn't think I heard you right. I hoped I didn't hear you right.
You should know by now whenever I abruptly change the subject, it's some stupid shit like that. It's my favorite thing to do on the podcast.
That's like our one consistent bit is Josh's fucking breakneck goddamn subject changes.
Sometimes I do it on purpose, sometimes I absolutely do.
Oh, God. I really did not enjoy this watch. I just want to put that out. I really did not enjoy this watch of this movie.
I'm surprised Chris is the one suffering.
Well, to be fair, I turned off my brain while I watched this fucking movie.
Because honestly, like, before we started this, Josh and I went back and forth so much, and Josh called me a monster.
Never sure if you were serious.
I was 100% serious. That as far as the prequels went, this was my favorite. Because I watched it mostly when I was much younger. Yeah, I was a little bit older when this one came out. I was still a little young, I guess, when Phantom Menace came out. So, like, this was, like, my prime Star Wars movie. And, I had a bunch of the toys when they came out. And, this was the one that I think I latched onto the most. And then I didn't see it for years. And so I just had fond memories of like, no, yeah, there's the big fucking arena lightsaber battle and Christopher Lee and oh, it's great. And somehow my brain deleted
everything else,
the Shakespeare shit and the Droid Factory and the Boneless Pears and the mystique is gone.
I'm sorry.
I remembered the other rant.
What's the other rant, Ben?
The fucking Droid Factory. Oh,
Again?
so yes, we're going back.
I don't want to go back to the
we're at the droid factory. Fuck you.
Wait, so you have multiple? Didn't you have a rant about the Droid Factory already? How many rants about the Droid Factory were you doing?
Chris, just let it happen.
No.
So, fucking Padme gets stuck in the goddamn bucket, right? She's like, shit, I'm stuck in a fucking bucket. And it's on that conveyor line that's going to the fucking the lava nozzle or whatever the fuck it is.
Lava nozzle.
The way it is shot is so fucking bad.
Because it wasn't shot.
No, like the way the sequence of I want to say shots, but half of it's fucking CGI puke. So they have a shot of her in the bucket, and then a panned out shot of all the buckets, and one get filled with lava, and then they all move forward, and they have a close up shot of her again, and then a close up shot of the nozzle filling a bucket, and the implication is, oh fuck, they just murdered her. And then it immediately goes to another close-up of Padme, totally okay and still alive. And it's just like, what the fuck?
I mean, to be fair, I was going to say that's how you build tension, but also they could have cut something else in there to make that a little more like, oh, fuck, Padme's dead, and then cut to something else. Oh, fuck, Padme's dead.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like, hey, look, Padme's dead. Oh, no, wait, she's still alive, because the very next fucking shot is just her looking scared.
Oh God, you know what? I just fucking remembered.
Oh,
I don't know why. I don't know why that's what reminded me. You know what I think? Why I think the mystique of this movie is gone for me?
Why?
Because, and we were very open when we released the first episode of episode 2. We had to record that fucking episode of the podcast like 3 times.
3 times, I believe.
You did not have to watch it.
And I also watched the movie like 3
Okay.
Yeah,
I will say you fucking did that to yourself,
yeah.
though.
I wanted to make sure it was fresh in my mind before we fucking recorded.
Next time you'll take me seriously when I say you absolutely do not have to do that.
I know I didn't have to, but I did it anyway because I'm committed.
Do you want me to talk about R2-D2 Beneath the Dome?
What?
Oh my God, I forgot. Yes, I have been waiting all week for this. Yes, please.
So, I was really, really into this until I realized that there was a full-length version of the documentary online. Like, there's a trailer for it that's 9 minutes long in the special features, and then I was like, it was like, see more on StarWars.com. I'm like, oh no. And I found a 20-minute version online, but it's still pretty good. It's like bad but good at the same time.
But what is it?
It's a mockumentary, which we will take entirely seriously, on the life and times of R2-D2, or his real name, as it is implied to be, based on his siblings' names and his nickname Reggie, Reginald Dillingham.
Oh my God.
That's
Hold on. I need a minute. I need a fucking minute. Hold on. God.
I need to scorch this from my memory.
I need you to run that by me again. Reginald what?
Dillingham.
Oh my God.
I know for a fact his last name is Dillingham. I can only assume his first name is Reginald because his brother and sister call him Reggie.
Is he the second? Is that why it's R2-D2? Why am I trying to fucking make excuses for this dumb fuck?
He was born in the English suburb of Bollocks.
What?
I refuse to ruin this for myself and Google it. A direct quote from the documentary, but from a young age, R2-D2 was destined to disappoint him being his father. So I have a list of work that R2-D2 has done or has been implied to do or he was up for in his acting career and otherwise, and it is batshit. Previous works of R2-D2. He went to the University of Arizona and he did some stunt work. He played Tiny Tim in a stage production.
I hate this so much.
You hate this so much, or what?
I had no idea what this was going to be, and I hate it. What is happening?
He was big in the 60s club scene in the UK. He was an underground drummer. He trained with the June Taylor Dancers.
Wait, so when you said that there was a mockumentary about R2-D2 like a week ago, my initial thought there was, oh, it's like a dumb mockumentary, but it's still going to be in the Star Wars universe. He went to the University of Arizona?
He was also an ash can on stage and a trash can in Starsky and Hutch.
Oh my god.
He was in a show called That's My Mama. Oh, and he was up for the role of Marco Corleone in The Godfather, but Bob Evans blocked it because he called him a runt.
Oh my god.
Which, by the way, I will have to get to the list of people who sat down for this fucking travesty. Carrie Fisher said he wanted to be a Shakespearean actor. George says he attempted to pressure him into the lead role of Indiana Jones. He had a real big alcohol problem that went on for years, including well into the prequels. Steven Spielberg tried to get him into Saving Private Ryan when he was down on his luck as a dressing obstacle on the beaches of Normandy. Carrie says he did Friar Tuck at one point, but it didn't go well, and he was too old for the role. He did some small roles in the early 90s, including a movie with him as the lead that did not do well called The Little Big Droid, a romance called Slither, and an off-brand ripoff of Grease called Greased. So that is his full... Samuel L. Jackson
so much.
Samuel L. Jackson accuses R2-D2 of having a fake accent and says he thinks he's from Detroit, but also credits R2-D2 with his career.
Did they also get Samuel L. Jackson to sit for this? Because this sounds like something he would totally do.
He did. Well, he was already on the set. The list of people that sat down outside of Attack of the Clones to do it is fucking insane. Carrie Fisher on R2-D2's mental state, he is someone that I felt, quote, he is someone that I felt could have benefited from Prozac. In 2002, he was dating Bitsy Tulloch, but apparently not solely her. I will get back to her. Sir Christopher Lee signed on to episode 2, which, yes, Sir Christopher Lee talked about R2 and said this himself. Signed on to episode 2 to work with R2-D2 and was campaigning up until the release of the movie to get a scene between him and R2 because he wanted to work with R2.
Oh my god.
Natalie Portman mentions that, a lot of them talk about how R2-D2 was a mess when he got on the scenes of the prequels. Natalie Portman mentions that he was always on the phone with his agent. Hayden Christensen seems extremely frustrated, which is the best acting performance I think he's ever given, to be honest. He's extremely frustrated that he's not giving his all to scenes that he's in with R2. Like when it's the close-up of Hayden Christensen, he's giving his all to R2-D2, and R2-D2 does not do the same thing for him. Natalie Portman does admit, however, there are scenes with R2-D2 with just like women in bikinis lining, and then R2-D2, and then women in bikini. And Natalie Portman admits that he's a very good-looking person. Anthony Daniels quote, "I think it's easy for people to forget that he has feelings. When you're at crotch height, it's hard to make an impression." There's just a lot. Probably my favorite is that he has at the time of this release, he had a pending lawsuit with Richard Dreyfuss.
What the fuck?
A quote from Richard Dreyfuss: "I don't think he's an actor. I think he's a personality. I don't think George is aware. Who's going to walk up to George Lucas and say R2-D2 is a schmuck?" Richard Dreyfuss.
Did they get Richard Dreyfuss for this?
Yes. Richard Dreyfuss implies that the dark side was created as a concept because of R2's own dark side. Here's a list of people that degraded themselves entirely outside of the Attack of the Clones cast. Here's a list of people who sat down to do this: Bitsy Tulloch, Carrie Fisher, Steven Spielberg, Richard Dreyfuss, Harrison Ford for one line, and Francis Ford Coppola. And
how the hell did they get Harrison Ford?
I don't know, but he did one line. Apparently, there was a at the worst of R2's alcoholism, he attempted to do a stunt where he went bungee diving, but he landed on his dome, and they had to do emergency surgery, and he's been better ever since he survived it.
I love that the more you've talked about this, Doc, the more you have begun to refer to R2-D2 as if he is actually like a person and a fucking actor. Like, you just presented that as absolute fact. Yeah, apparently there was a stunt and it went really bad.
I started out loving this, I grew to hate it, and then I ended loving it. It's just a spectacle to watch.
This is the stupidest fucking thing.
He had to lose a lot of weight in order for George to bring him back for the Phantom Menace. There is a Photoshop of R2-D2 very fat, and then at the end, because of like the bungee diving incident, apparently he like turned his life around and he's doing better. And the last, so Bitsy Tulik, God bless her. She talks about how they're dating, but not exclusively, and there's a few scenes of them talking and like R2 like walking away from her and her heart broken. The last shot of this mockumentary is Bitsy Tulik putting her hand on her stomach and saying, "I think I'm pregnant." I don't.
God.
I went into this bit very excited, and I don't know what to think anymore. Cause I was like, oh, that's funny, and then there was more,
Yeah.
and then there was more,
Yeah.
and I got overwhelmed, and now I'm just scared. I'm happy for him.
George Lucas put more effort into this mockumentary than he did Attack of the Clones.
I want to watch this mockumentary instead of Attack of the Clones.
Oh, God.
But now we can for sure add R2-D2 to the list of people that we have absolutely talked shit on this fucking podcast.
I mean, fuck it. It's 2020. R2-D2 is canceled. We'll cancel R2-D2.
This has been Star Wars Every Week Forever. Bye.
Oh my God.
I
Now
hate
you
everything.
now you understand why I was not happy about doing the R2-D2 thing.
That is some fucking bullshit. Wow.
I was under the same impression Chris was.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be like the life and times of R2-D2 in Star Wars. But
Nope.
no, it's fucking pregnant Bitsy Tool. Alright, so I have to do a thing. This week, as my recommendation, I recommend the Darth Bane trilogy of Legends books, because Darth Bane is my favorite Sith Lord, and I absolutely adore the Old Republic, and I think they are fantastic reads. So, yes. That is all. Please come back.